everyone, and welcome to Chic Chats. I am Jeanette Ipapo-Tuason. I am the co-founder of Tuason Racing and the author of Chic Driven. And I am with
Issa Litton. Hi, everyone. I'm a freelance host and actor and the COO and head trainer of One Lit Corp. Together, we're about to give you hashtag your best life in bullet points.
Here with us in the new episode of Chic Chats, all about wines, is the director of the antique wine company AWC, Mr. Philippe Guillot, to teach us about everything about wines. Welcome, JP.
Thank you.
Hi, JP.
Good evening,
I hope
Jeanette.
you heard that pop courtesy of you.
I'll open mine also.
So I was telling JP the reason why I order wine every week is because I have 5 kids. So now we're going to learn how to really enjoy wine. So that's why we invited you over. So JP, can you please take it away?
Yeah, please. That's going to be a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on your platform. I'm always happy to speak about wine, which is more a passion than a job, but of course that pays the bill as well. Wine is, unfortunately, I won't be able to tell you everything about wine because wine is changing every day. As you know, there is a lot of components in wine. It's an endless knowledge on products. Wine is very, it grows in many countries. Every vintage will be different. Every bottle will be different as well. So we're just gonna go through basic learning about wine. So when you drink wine, you will have a bit more knowledge, at least for the first three glasses, and then when the alcohol take effect, that's where wine tastes very good, of course. So wine basic, of course, we need to know what kind of fruit we use in wine. So what is wine exactly? So I'm sure for most of you, you know it, but it's always good to repeat to everyone what it is exactly. So wine, we will use grape juice, different kind of grape juice, and we're gonna use what we call a fermentation. So to make alcohol, you have different way. You either ferment a fruit, which means that the sugar will become alcohol with the yeast, and you distill. So all the distilled products like vodka, gin, whiskey, etc., you will burn the juice, and then you will collect some very high alcohol. The big difference between fermented and distilled, when the wine in the bottle is still alive when it's fermented. When it's distilled, the product is completely dead. So you can keep a bottle of vodka in your house for a year or many years. It's always going to taste the same. Where a bottle of wine, as soon as you open it, of course, you will have what we call oxidation. But even inside the bottle with a cork, the wine will keep evaluate every day. That is why it's very important to keep it in a proper storage in a wine fridge or a cellar if you have it.
So
Definitely
JP,
in a hot place. You're not supposed to leave wine in a hot place.
You're not supposed to leave wine in a hot place. You're not supposed to leave wine in a place with a variation of temperature. So if you're always at 18 or 20, that's fine. If you're always at 12 or 13 or 14, that's fine. But if one day you are at 12, then the day after it got 18, then you got 14, then you go back at 18, that's where it's really bad for the wine. And one thing that the wine don't like at all, and that's why the color of the bottle are dark green, it's definitely the light. The light will damage the quality of your wine.
So make sure your wines are not in places that have sunlight.
Exactly, sunlight and different temperatures. It's bad for the wine.
Okay, noted. And
I
again, for Philippines' sake, in a cool place, ideally 18. You were saying 18 degrees centigrade?
Ideally, me, I have a wine fridge at home, and I usually put at 13 or 14 degrees because time to take it out of my fridge, open the bottle, pour it in a glass of my guests. Usually, it's going to take 2 or 3 degrees. So,
Because one of the
Refrigerator.
yeah, one of the questions that people are always asking, you're supposed to keep red wine in room temperature, but that doesn't apply in the Philippines because it's hot here, right? So you still need to chill a red wine. Is that
yes,
right?
that's a very correct answer. It's room temperatures in the Philippines doesn't mean anything because a lot of people use or very cold. A lot of people use a lot of aircon, so it's like winter in my house in Bordeaux. Or if you don't put the aircon, of course it's too hot. So the ideal temperature, if you want to use it for lunchtime, leave it at 13, 14 degrees. And time to open the bottle and pour it, you will have it at 15, 16. But you know what? Even in France, I don't in Philippines, I don't drink the wine the same as I drink the wine in France. I always chill it a little bit more because
So
of the
the
weather.
refrigerator is your best friend. I mean, not all homes have cellars, wine cellars, or anything like that. So just put it in the refrigerator then.
Well, the fridge it's good for a certain period of time because the refrigerator is very dry inside because you need to have a dry refrigerator to avoid any moisture, etc. So which is not very good for the cork of the bottle. The cork will
That's
get
why it
dry,
breaks. Yeah, that's why it breaks.
and it's not good. But however, if you buy your bottle and you give it, you leave them in a fridge for 2 weeks, 1 month, it's no problem. But don't
Okay.
keep a bottle of wine a year in your wine fridge because your cork will become dry. And if you
Another
can,
question.
yes,
So, another basic question. What's the difference between cork and twist top? The screw thing.
yeah, screw cap, yeah. So it's a big debate. We'll speak about that later. But between the old world, new world, uh, we always like to have the cork, because we like to take time to open a bottle of wine, and it's a part of drinking wine. Is you open a bottle to share, so it's a part as well of speaking about the bottle of wine, opening it properly, pour it in proper glasses. So it's the full scenario of opening a bottle of wine. However, even me, which is a guy from Bordeaux who love the bottle with real cork, for young wine, for white wine that you leave in the fridge, or for young wine that's you're not gonna age, a screw cap, I must say, it's very convenient.
Okay.
Even more when you have 10 friends at home who love to drink a lot, it really saves a lot of time. And they are very good now. The quality of screw cap really improved those last 10 years.
Nice. All right. So getting into the holiday season and the holiday spirit, I mean, at its best, you already told us about distilled grapes versus wine. Now let's get to enjoying it. Or is there anything else you'd like to share first before the actual enjoyment?
I'll just
Yeah.
go quickly. As I told
Okay.
you, with the first distinction was distilled and fermented wine. So when we speak about wine, it's wine. Then we have red wine, white wine, rosé wine, sparkling, and sweets. That's the main categories on wine. So to make red wine, we use red grapes. Okay, those grapes, they are red outside, but the juice is white inside. So what we do is we keep the skin and the juice together, and that's actually the skin who's going to give you the color of the red wine.
Mm.
The white
Skin
wine,
on.
sorry.
Skin on.
Yes,
For
you crush, you do a maceration, and the juice and the skin, it's gonna give you the color of your wine. It's a bit like if you buy a new red shirt to your kids and you leave it in hot water for a long time. your water will be very red. For white wine, you use white grapes, but you remove the skin and you just ferment the juice. And for rosé wine, my turn to ask you a question. Do you know how we make rosé wine?
No.
So
I'll
are
be
we
honest, not me.
are we using white grapes, red grapes?
Isn't
Do you
it
have-
still red? Red grapes? No.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yay!
are made with red grapes, and we will do the same way that we do red wine, but the time that we will leave the skin and the juice together, it's very short. So the tannin, the color of the skin, will keep your juice pinky and what we call it rosé wine.
So not red, not the dark red.
No,
Okay.
exactly. And we do not need red and white to make rosé.
Yeah, which people probably think they just mix it. No,
Yes. You can do that with champagne or different sparkling, but for still wine, not really.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the main difference of red wine, rosé wine, sparkling. Wine characteristic, when you will speak about wine which is well balanced, you need to look for acidity, tannin, and alcohol with a red wine. If it's too acidic, if it's too, of course, you won't like it. If it's too much alcoholic, you won't like it. So, like everything in life, you want to look for a great balance to enjoy a good quality wine.
I can tell if it's acidic because obviously it tastes sour. But
Yes.
how can you tell if it's too alcoholic?
Well, it's a little bit like, I mean, I'm sure you already have shots of vodka. So when you drink a shot of vodka, you know it's you really taste what
burning.
it is.
Yeah, it's like burnt.
Yeah, it's not like a gin when you have all those herbs where vodka is really the taste of alcohol. So some of the wine, because as well the weather is changing a lot, some of the place on earth become very, very hot. And when it's really hot before the harvest, your grape will have a full concentration of sugar. And more sugar you have on your grapes, more alcohol your wine will be, because all the sugar will become alcohol thanks to the action of the yeast.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you.
Pleasure. And tannin, that's what you find in the skin. It's if a wine is too tannic, you have a lot of wine like this from Cabernet Sauvignon, for example, because the grape is very small, but the skin is very thick and it's not very juicy. So tannin is when you drink a glass of red wine and your mouth become really dry on the palate and your tongue. It's a bit like when you infuse too much tea too long. When you drink,
the flavor gets too heavy.
Too heavy and it dry your mouth. So this is the same effect.
Is that's the aftertaste, right? There's like some wines have like an aftertaste, so that's the tannin.
It's not really the taste; it's more the
dry
texture of the wine in your mouth.
Okay, that's great to know.
One big difference as well you need to know, it's what we call old world wine and new world wine. So do you know what's the difference between old world and new world?
Old world is from Europe.
Yes, exactly.
New world is from the rest of the world.
Exactly. So old world wine, because it's all continents as we call it, and new world wine, it's where of course all those wine region, European countries send wine in those countries. So all world, the rest of the world, all world, Europe, new world, the rest of the world.
Okay.
So Issa, I just did an article about wines, and JP was the one who helped me with it. It's actually funny that the old world wines are the ones they usually collect.
Yes.
And then the old world wines are the ones that have cork.
Yeah, mostly. Actually,
That's right.
yeah, of course, you have New World wine that people collect. You have beautiful wine in California, in Australia, I mean, everywhere. But when you speak about wine collector, they will mainly collect wine from Europe, because the value of those wine and the history are a little bigger now.
Yes. And of course, when you talk about traditional winemaking, it is from Europe, particularly like France,
Yeah.
Italy. Yeah, so it's really the cluster of countries in
After
Europe.
a lot of New World wines who keep a traditional method as well.
Is there
Lo-
any change? Is there like a difference in taste besides or characteristics that can generalize New World and Old World wines?
well, we need to speak about one more thing after that, and we really speak when we speak about wine about terroir. Terroir, it's different components. So you will take the weather, the climate. You will take the soil. The soil is what's gonna feed your plants. So of course, if you have a different kind of soil, it will give you a different kind of taste. You have the sites. Are you beside the sea? Are you beside the mountain? Are you in different altitude? And after you have the winemaking process. In Europe, you're not allowed to irrigate the vine. So when it's really hot, the vine will go really deep. The roots will go really deep to really get water. Where in Australia and California and other countries, they're allowed to irrigate the grapes. So that will give you a wine much more fruity, rounder, with less minerality and a bit less complexity.
Okay, so we're gonna move to the how to taste wine. So let's add this to the stream. So is this really a way to do it? Is there really like a science to this?
Well,
The swirl.
wine has to keep a pleasure, and yes, it's there is a way to drive a car. You can drive however you want, but you will enjoy the driving this car that way. Wine, there is the tasting. Also, it's very important to have proper glasses. Company like Riedel or Schotz-Wiesel did a lot of blind testing with the same wine in different glasses, and you will have different approach with the wine. So, first of all, when you want to taste some wine, really look at the bottle, and look at what country is it? What country it come from, and what is the region?
Can you test me? Okay, like for example, I have your Chateau Cap de Fer, Cap de Fer.
Chateau Cap de Fer. Okay, so if you look at the country, you go on the back. It's a produce of France. Okay.
Yes. From
And
Bordeaux.
then, it's come from Bordeaux, Grand Vin de Bordeaux, and here it's owned by the domain Jean Guillot, which is actually
Your family name.
Jean Guillot. Yeah, it's my grandfather, and now it's owned by my uncle.
So for wines like this, there's really that nice stamp of where it's from down to the family that makes it.
Yes. You will see most of the wine habit actually. Sometimes it's not owned by a family, it's owned by a corporation, so they don't put it. It's just a brand more than really a place, because you have a big difference. Chateau Cap de Fer, we own the chateau, but we own the vineyard as well. Also. So the grapes and the wine inside this bottle are from exactly this place. For example, if you take this white wine Indigo Eyes, they buy grapes from different owners, and then they make wine and they brand the bottle. So you don't have an Indigo Eyes winery. You don't have Indigo Eyes vineyard.
Just
So
just the brand.
just the brand, exactly. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Does it make a difference for the wines if it is owned? The vineyard is owned. The vineyard and grapes are owned.
Well,
Difference?
when you own the vineyard, you will have a better consistency, because you are the one who work in the vineyard every day. Because people should really understand that making a bottle of wine, it's a all year work. You have to be in your vineyard every day. You have to check the weather every day. You have to cut your plants properly. You have to really take care of your vineyard 365 days a year. And when you own the vineyard, of course, all the work you will do in your vineyard, there will be a repercussion on the quality of the wine. Those guys, they buy wine from different different vineyards, so they don't really control the quality of the grape. So when you own the vineyard,
they mix it and they put their brand on it.
Yes, correct.
Ah, okay. Thank you for that. So it's like talking about concentrated, the hard work. This is the love story, the labor, the history of the wine.
And then when you bottle it and you share it with friends in the Philippines, you're very happy.
Okay, so having all that in mind, how do we now go to the fun part, which is tasting it?
So we just start with this Codorniu Classico Seco. So of course you all know champagne, but champagne is under the umbrella of sparkling wine. So you have very famous sparkling wine like Prosecco in Italy. You will have champagne in France, and you have Cava in Spain.
Ah, and this is it, Cava.
And this is it, yes. So Codorniu actually is one of the oldest winery in Penedès region, which is not far north of Barcelona. And this, it's they start Codorniu in 1551, and it's still here for a long time. So unfortunately, I cannot show you how we open it because I already opened. But I guess
I popped the bottle open when we were introducing you, so they heard the pop.
Perfect. So
I got somebody else to open it.
That's a good start for the presentation. So like I told you, first of all, you will look at your glass and look if it's clean. When we say a wine is clean, if there is no imperfection inside, it's not cloudy, it's, as you can see, it's really really clean. So you look at it first, okay?
There's bubbles in this one.
There is bubbles because this is a cava. So how do we make those bubbles in this bottle? We make some white wine first, okay? And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna add some sugar and yeast inside this bottle. And then we're gonna close it again. And then what's gonna happen in the bottle, it's what we call a second fermentation. Mm-hmm. So the sugar and the yeast will produce those little bubbles. And that's the way you will have a sparkling wine with the traditional method.
That's why you have the little bubbles just rising to the top. I mean, it's a clear wine. It's a beautiful white gold color, right? But there's just bubbles going up.
Yeah, that's because it's a sparkling wine. It's a cava, so we want those bubbles. So after looking at it, always smell it, and of course, a lot of wine professional and wine geek will give you a lot of different fruits that they can find in the glass. But what you want to look at, it's more like does it smell good, Is there any defaults in the nose? So don't be shy to really put your nose inside the glass. I think that's why the French people were born with a very long nose, Make sure that we smell it properly. And that smells good, you don't have a smell of dust, you don't have the smell of
alcohol,
and too much alcohol.
No.
So from that point, you can say that this wine have no default. Then when we put swirl, you will try to do this with your glass, okay? And why we do that? Why do we turn the glass why do we turn the wine in the glass? It's because the wine has been stuck for months already in the bottle, so all the aroma are still closed. When we say a wine is closed, it means that it didn't release all his capacity, all his aroma that he can give it to you. So while doing this, you really explore the wine to make sure that you will have all the aroma. And you smell again.
Air into it, right?
So smell again.
Smell again. And then, of course, you can see.
That goes down nice and easy. This is a pleasant
Agree.
drink, yes.
So why do I turn the wine in my mouth? Is because you know that we have different touch in our mouth. Some is bitter, some is sweet. So you want to make your whole mouth full of wine, and then automatically you will have an effect that's what we call the retro olfaction. So you will smell by the back of your nose, and that's where you have all the aroma are really developing. So you take some. And once you swallow it, it come back and it stay. Be careful, don't
It smells good. It tastes good. What I personally don't like with again, what I can tell instantly with wine is when it's too acidic. You're like,
Yeah.
it leaves a sour taste. This one is so pleasant.
Yeah, you don't like acidic wine.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this one is very pleasant. You know, it's a wine that you when you have guests at home or when you do those Christmas party, while waiting for everyone, you just give to all your guests,
Yes.
and you drink it slowly, and they will enjoy it, and the bubble effects. It's always very pleasant as well because you start to be a bit more tipsy, a bit faster with all. And let's be honest, we all of that.
So this is it's perfect. Cava is perfect to start the night with when you're just warming up.
Yeah, it's perfect to open all the flavor in your mouth and open all your mind and bring you happiness.
Does that
Bring you
also
happiness. I like that.
does that also mean to pair it is like, peanuts, slices of cheese, something light as well. You don't want to go full for dinner, but just, what do you pair it with? What do you suggest? Chip?
What you say, it's very correct. Just a bit of ham, a bit of pica pica. It will go well with something like light, refreshing. But cava and jamon always go very well. But even if you serve this with a bit of chicken, grilled chicken, or even of seafood, this is really, as we say, passepartout. Go well with a lot of things. Something like you don't want to have a steak with this wine, definitely not. But as a starter, small pica pica it go very well.
Okay.
Okay.
Crackers, cheese, ham, or jamon.
Perfect.
Peanuts as well, nuts, chips, dips.
Yeah, everything you get as a aperitif,
Appetizer.
it will go well.
Yes. So now to the next step. From sparkling, do we go to white?
Yes, we can go to white. So if you don't like to, you want to taste all of them?
Oh, which one? The indigo eyes or Chateau Lafitte?
I took two very different wines. One is Chateau La Gravière. It's from Bordeaux. This is a blend with Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc. So this wine will be very crispy, very dry, and a bit of acidic, but very white flower. Peach is going to be very enjoyable to drink. And this one, it's from California, Chardonnay. So this is going to be much more buttery, creamy, and less acidic than the first one.
So the indigo is a New World wine. Is that correct?
Indigo is California, USA, New World. And then Chateau La Gravière, France.
Old wine, old world.
Old world wine, yes.
Yes.
So which one you want? You want to taste both of them?
What do you suggest?
Yeah.
If it was in like levels, would you suggest going for the indigo first? Because I'm pretty sure the La Gravière would be more.
Actually, what you try to do, it's a bit like when you eat different kind of food. You try to go from the lighter and the more refreshing to the more creamy and heavy.
Oh, so we should go this first, the crispy first.
Yeah, because for example, if you eat like a fish with curry, you know it's going to be creamy, it's going to be heavy, and then you just eat grilled prawn with lemon. The taste of the prawn will be too light after what you just add. So you always try to go crescendo. You go with the light, refreshy, and crispy, and then you go to the more heavy, buttery, creamy. So it's
Okay.
easier for your taste to go that way.
So if you were to serve this, like with the courses, even if it's just at your home, start off with, what if it's like gambas? Or
Gamba,
like
I'll go
steamed fish.
You go with like because gambas usually put
Oh,
lemon, light, and it's quite refined. You know the meat of the gambas, it's light and refined. If you put a wine, the wine will overpower your food, and that's not what you want. When you do wine pairing, you always want to complement the food,
Each other.
the wine with the food.
So what will you pair with the indigo? If you put the lemon with the seafood with lemon, what would go well with the indigo?
Indigo will go, all the Chardonnay usually, when they're a bit creamy, go well with white meat, chicken will go very well. Will go well with curry, will go well with fish
How about
with sauce.
creamy pasta? Like
Creamy
pasta
pasta.
with white cream.
Creamy pasta will be very good with the Chardonnay because the texture and the creaminess will
Like
complement.
carbonara.
Yeah, that will be good with the Chardonnay.
There you go. Carbonaras. So anything with a sauce, like a curry sauce.
But well, let's open both of them, and then you will understand what I mean. So,
Okay.
of wine, you always need to cut it at the second level, not the first one, the second here. Okay, you do a nice clean cut. So we're gonna open the La Gravière. And I'm gonna open the individual so we can taste it side by side. It's always interesting to taste side by side because once you've done that, you know what kind of wine you like. If you like more crispy and acidic white wine, or if you like Chardonnay. Because if one night you drink this and 2 weeks later you drink Indigo Eyes, you might not remember.
Yeah.
That's why you need a lot of practice for the wine. Okay.
He does it so easily.
I know. Mine's so.
I've done that. I knew I had to do that before walking.
All right. So
Hello.
with white, same as earlier with the cava. Wow.
Your bottles are open.
I'm opening mine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with Chateau La Gravière. This French wine from Bordeaux, and this is from Entre-deux-Mers. You know, in Bordeaux is a city, and it's a wine region. And you have two rivers which separate the region of Bordeaux. You have the Dordogne and La Garonne. And this is between those two rivers. Entre-deux-Mers means between two seas. You can see it here, Entre-deux-Mers, between two seas. But it's actually between two rivers. Okay, so what do we do? Look at the wine.
Okay.
Here, I smell first. You have a lot of passion fruits in there.
It's fruity.
It's very fruity. What kind of fruit you will have, for example? When you close your eyes, if you smell this, does it remind you any kind of fruit?
Well, you
Okay,
already
got it.
said passion fruit.
Yeah. It's very fruity.
Which fruit is it?
Yeah,
Have
passion
you-
fruit is right. It's kind of fruity for me. Too fruity.
even on the taste?
I'm sorry?
Did you taste it yet?
Yes, I did.
Too fruity.
Yeah, too fruity for me.
Okay.
What do you have against fruity wines? I like it because
I'm a red wine drinker, that's why maybe. So I like the full-bodied,
You
hearty
like,
drink. I'm sorry?
yeah, you like big red.
I like big reds, so that's why. Okay, so moving on to the next one.
So now we can try the indigo eyes side by
Right.
side.
Let me open that. Hold on. How come this doesn't have a twist cap?
everything worked.
No, we could ask some markets really don't want screw cap. China really don't want screw cap. Many countries in Asia as well still prefer to have a cork. So those kind of winery, they do a screw cap and cork. But
Okay.
maybe I think the next shipment that we're gonna receive on Winedrop, it's gonna be screw cap.
Already.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know this kind of wine you want to drink them young, and it's so much easier than the cork.
Okay. All right. While I'm opening this,
Go ahead, JP.
All right, so this one, Issa, did you open your glass? Did you open your bottle?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. So
Sorry.
this one very clean as well. I want to wait Jeanette to tell me what she smelled, because you will see a big difference between those two wines. A lot of
Okay.
Chardonnay from California age their wine in oak barrels. And when you age your wine in oak barrels, it's going to give you a very creamy and buttery texture with a lot of notes of either vanilla or caramel.
sorry, just a minute. I opened the wrong one.
So
I
when
opened
you
the
say
red.
that, when you say stuff like it's got vanilla and caramel, do people expect it to be sweet?
No.
It's more of
Lot,
the aroma.
a lot of people make a difference between fruity and notes of caramel and vanilla. This is on the taste. This is not on the level of sugar in your bottle. A sweet wine will have an excess of sugar in the bottle, which means that this wine, all the yeasts eat the sugar already. If you in wine you have different level of sugar, and this is not considered as a sweet wine. It's still considered as a pure wine. Yes.
Even when you're saying stuff like it has vanilla and caramel.
We speak about aroma. So in a bottle of wine, you can have different kind of aroma. You can have like all the spice, different kind of spice, fruity, floral. Then you can have some in some bottle of red wine. You can have those forest taste. Something all bottle of Bordeaux. The taste will be very strong, a bit gamey. So that's the beauty of the wine. It really is going to develop by itself, or of course aging on the barrels. It's going to develop a lot of different kind of aroma. But the winemaker don't put vanilla or caramel or whatsoever in the bottle.
It's from the oak, from the barrels also.
The oaks change a lot, yes.
All right. So the difference with this one, okay, Jeanette, do you have yours open? I'm actually
Yeah.
open. What are your,
Wait, I'm just cleaning my glass.
do you recommend mixing? Like, you know, if you're finished with one bottle of wine and then you open the next one, some people just pour directly in their glass. What's your say to that, JP?
See the difference?
I see the difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that's what,
woody. This one's very woody. Just the
yes.
smell is different.
So Issa, to answer you, it's when we do a crescendo on wine, if I have a very light white wine and then I go something heavier like this, it's fine. Actually, it's even better not to put water in your glass because
Okay.
it's better to have a taste of wine than having a taste of chlorine or whatsoever in your glass.
Mm.
So we start with a light and crispy white, and then we go on a big Chardonnay. So the Chardonnay will take over in your glass anyway.
Yes,
This is
very woody.
very woody, huh?
Okay, here
And
we
it
go.
has a there's something in my throat. So that's the tannin.
Here's the two. So first is the La Gravière. Sorry, what were you saying?
La Gravière. There is no tannin on the white wine. Tannin is on the red wine.
Oh, okay. But there's
It's
a
light. It's crisp. It's just
Light and crisp, the first one, yeah. The other one's much more buttery and creamy.
let's try this one.
This is actually I don't know if you heard about these brands called Bread and Butter.
Yes,
Mhm.
I've tried that.
Okay, so this is a little the little sister of Bread and Butter.
This
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. There is a big, stark difference of
Yes.
flavor and aroma. This
Yeah.
this is very, very light. Like you'd think it's refreshing,
Yes.
especially after the kava. This
Yeah.
like settles in a lightness. But then this one hits you with a little punch.
So now try to come back on what we say about the pairing.
Okay.
So we say with the first one, more the
Gambas.
something.
Yeah, like gambas with garlic and oil. Yeah.
And when you drink the Indigo Ice Chardonnay, it's
Carbonara.
creamy with this. Your creamy pasta, how it's gonna be
Yes.
with it.
So like white sauces. This is with cream.
Yes. On pairing, the big line, it's. I think I have it on my presentation later, but try to
Wala,
always
likin.
thing which has the same color. Big red steak, take a big red wine. Delicate white fish, take a delicate white wine. It's
Okay.
it's that's a big line.
So this is like the first one, the La Gavier, is for
Yeah.
sea bass.
Yes,
If you want a little more flavor, like salmon,
yes,
would
I will go more on Chardonnay. Yes,
with the Chardonnay, which is with the indigo eyes. Something
Salmon,
with
you
flavor.
can go with a light Pinot Noir. So when you have high acidity, acidic wine, take some high acidic food, and etc. etc. When your meal is light and refreshing, you want a wine which is light and refreshing. When it's a bit more creamy, you want something more creamy. When you have a
Like the La Gavier, steamed chicken, just plain chicken, roast chicken. But if it's like chicken with gravy or like stuffed chicken,
you go with
it's
Chardonnay.
this one with the other one with the indigo eyes. So it's just layering flavors.
Flavors and texture, because you can
Texture.
feel the indigo eyes, it's more creamy as well. Because acidity is not aroma. Acidity, it's you want something gonna feel here.
Yeah,
So
how it cuts down.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
And that's also
Okay.
what cuts across the food.
Yes. So some people like to completely cross everything. However, that's not my recommendation. And again, there is no pure science between that. It's if you like your steak with a glass of white wine,
Why
nobody
not?
can tell you anything. Why not? Exactly.
Yes,
So
exactly.
wine, it's good. We still have the freedom to drink it with whoever we want and with whatever we want. So
Yeah.
what
Okay.
I'm telling
Let's
you
move
is
to the red.
move to the red.
You can
Sorry,
tell what
sorry.
your favorites are.
The
My
difference is
word.
so different,
Now
huh?
I have 5 bottles of wine and I have no one to drink it with.
It's okay, if you put back the cork and you leave it in the fridge, you have the week to drink them all.
A week.
Yeah, no problem. If you leave them in the fridge, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna get myself a wine chiller.
It's white cheddar.
I will buy it tomorrow.
There is some on Winedrop if you want.
Sorry, what's that? What's a good brand?
You can look on Winedrop.life. There is a few selection.
Okay. So just like earlier, we have an old wine. It's also a Cap de Fer.
Yes.
Issa, your gift to me, oh.
Ah, you're using it. Cool.
Yep.
Good you're using it because other people just put that on display.
No,
You
I'm
forget
the
it.
practical kind, you know.
Yeah.
The drink and drink everything.
Okay, so we will start with this time. We'll start with a Pinot Noir.
Pinot
So
Noir.
Pinot Noir, it's one of the most famous grape. It's very delicate. It's the berries are quite big, and it's very juicy, and the skin is very thin as well. So that's why the color of the Pinot Noir usually is quite light. You can see in your glass, if you pour a little bit, you still can see through.
I like Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir, it's a beautiful grape. I was born in Bordeaux, so Bordeaux we don't have Pinot Noir. In
Really?
France, no, in France, all those wine regions are allowed to a specific grape.
Uh-huh.
So, Pinot Noir, the best place, one of the best place definitely to grow the Pinot Noir is in Burgundy, in France.
Burgundy.
Burgundy.
That's where you're gonna find probably the most expensive bottle of wine in the world, and that's where you're gonna find the most refined Pinot Noir in the world. Very small vineyard, very expensive, very rare as well to find, but beautiful.
This has a smoky smell.
Yeah. I was about to say also the aroma of this
Smoky.
is a bit.
And it has a bit, I think it's a little bit too acidic for my taste.
D'accord. Okay.
And it also has that that punch after. Did you feel it, Issa? It's peppery, I think.
Peppery.
Is that right? Yeah. It's a bit peppery.
I need a big steak with this one. Yeah, I need something.
Yeah. This Pinot Noir is, as I told you, it's from California. So weather in California, it's hot and sunny. So it's going to give you much more powerful Pinot Noir than you will have in France. In France, you will have more acidity actually in the Pinot Noir than this one.
Okay.
So maybe it's not acidity, Jeanette, that you're smelling. It's actually probably the alcohol. Because again, I didn't find it acidic. I didn't go.
Acidity, be careful, and it's not an aroma. So it's
It's the taste.
acidity is when you drink it, and you will really feel it in your mouth.
It's like here.
It's here.
Yeah. I feel pepper, I feel smoke. I taste smoke. And like charred. Very smoky.
Very smoky.
Very smoky.
Well, I don't have the proper adjectives for it, but it's just.
So this one is good for steak?
Yeah.
This wine is quite a powerful Pinot Noir, so of course with a steak you will enjoy it. Yes.
Okay.
Just with steak, it's good.
Is this a light red? How would you describe it, JP?
Medium light. Usually some Pinot Noir are very light. This one It's, I would say, medium light, because you have these oaky parts. Here it's quite fruity, it's quite heavy for a Pinot Noir.
So would you go like cold cuts with this?
Yeah, you can go with more like pate, breads, cold cuts. I'm not a big fan with cold cut and red wine.
Really?
No, because it's really gonna change the taste of your wine.
Because of all the oil.
Because all the oil will take over your mouth, and then when you drink the red wine, that's why it's better to have like some sherry from Spain, or some champagne, or something with
cava.
For appetizers.
To fight against this
oils.
This oil. So it's a bit like the opposite I told you. Sometimes we try to look for exactly the same. Sometimes when the food is really too fatty or too oily, you try to cut it with something more acidic.
Okay.
Get some and try it, and then you will eat a glass of wine before and after. You will see the tastes changing.
So how would you pair this wine? Because I'm still kind of lost with your with this one, with the Cap de Fer Red. What would you pair with this one? Yes.
Alors, before pairing, let's taste it, and then maybe.
Jeanette was saying it's very peppery. The pepper is there.
Alors, Chateau Cap de Fer, it's from Bordeaux. It's from the right bank of the river. And Bordeaux, you're just allowed to grow 5 grape varietal. You're not allowed to grow Shiraz, for example. You're not allowed to grow Pinot Noir if you want to have the appellation. So the 5 grapes allowed in Bordeaux are Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. And Bordeaux, the big difference with this wine, this is a single varietal. Okay, it's only Pinot Noir.
Okay.
Bordeaux, it's very famous to blend the different grape varietal, because wine, we didn't really speak a lot about it, but it's a panel of different grape varietal. For white wine, the most famous, of course, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Riesling, Pinot.
I love Riesling.
All those wines. For red wine, you will know Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Grenache, Shiraz, Tempranillo, Sangiovese. So in this bottle of wine, you have about 90% of Merlot and 10% of Cabernet Sauvignon. So the Merlot, we're going to bring you the generosity of this wine. It's very voluptuous, and the tannin are very silky. Cabernet Sauvignon will bring you the structure of the wine. It's going to bring the acidity and the length on the wine.
Okay. But again, pairing wise, what would you serve with
So with most of the Bordeaux wine, red wine, you have it with lamb. You have it with lamb. You have it with steak, with gravy. You have it with it's they are big wine. This one is medium full body. I would say it's not a full body wine yet, but it stays much longer than the other one.
Okay. No. So if we define the white wines in terms of buttery and creamy, for reds, it's the texture of the meat?
Yes, it's the texture of the wine, the level of tannin. The tannin, when you drink wine, do you have this feeling of a bit dryness in your mouth?
Yes. Now more than the whites, yes.
And then the wine stay. Pinot Noir have much less tannin, so it's much more on the fruit and acidity, and it's a bit shorter in the mouth. Here we really speak about, of course, fruit, acidity, level of alcohol, and tannin.
Okay. As now compared to, believe it or not, I got it open, the Indigo Eyes, the Pinot Noir of California.
Yeah, exactly.
To define, they're both Pinot Noir.
No. Cap de Fer, it's from Bordeaux. And
so it's half.
Merlot, 90%. 90% of Merlot and 10% of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Ah, okay. Cabernet Sauvignon.
Although you're not allowed to grow Pinot
Pinot
Noir.
Noir.
So
Okay.
if you are gonna do like food pairing, this will go first before this one. The indigo ice will go first. The Cap de Fer.
Yeah,
Is that
usually,
right?
if you have different wines, you will put the Pinot Noir first, and then you will put the Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon.
So if
Okay.
I'm gonna pair this with food, this one can go with duck. Is that
Yes.
right? The indigo ice would go
Yes.
well with duck,
Well with that.
and then this will go well with lamb and steak.
Lamb steak
Oh, I
or
like
a little bit more gamey, yes.
Actually, for
Okay.
now, I'm very surprised. I'm going for the indigo eyes with the Pinot Noir.
Me, I like the Cap de Fer. So
Yeah, that's a good taste.
I like the Cap de Fer. It feels more easier for me to drink because I feel like the indigo ice has.
Easy to drink.
It feels more busy in terms of the senses for indigo ice for me. I've always been the type of I just want to drink it and drink it and drink it. So this one I
Really?
feel is an easier drink for me. That's why.
And you know the Pinot
We're
Noir,
opposites in our reds, in our chocolate reds.
but you know that's the beauty of the wine. It's you can debate with your friends what's better, what's less, etc. But at the end of the day, it's what's a good bottle
Whatever
of
you enjoy.
it's an empty bottle. So
It's an empty bottle.
as long
Okay,
as
so
you're happy,
yes, that's right. So going back, now it's Christmas season and people are parties are different now. It's more of sending Zoom packages, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So if I'm of course with a budget, right, and I cannot send a lot of people 5 bottles of wine, what would be the best to pair it with? What do I have to look for?
Yeah, like JP, as very popular in the Philippines, is we like giving Christmas ham. You know, that a ham, it's not like Spanish jamon.
No,
Christmas
no.
ham has that sweet outer flavor of sugar. So
Yes.
with that one, what would you pair with it?
Well, I guess the Indigo Ice Chardonnay will go very well with this.
I was thinking, yes,
Yeah.
with like your Christmas sweet ham.
Christmas with your Christmas sweet wine, It's
How about fruitcake? People like to give out fruitcake. What will be
Wow.
good to pair with fruitcake?
depends what fruits you put inside.
Cava?
What
What
can
about?
Would the cava go with the fruitcake? No.
yes, definitely.
Yes.
Fruit cake, a bit of cava, it's refreshing, and this I
Yeah.
can tell you, you have a good Zoom party with your friend.
Yeah.
Okay,
That would-
If I decide to send lechon or porchetta,
Oh, lechon. Let's not
It's
forget
Pinot Noir.
Pinot
Pinot
Noir.
Noir.
Yeah, that go well.
Really?
I love
Oh, okay.
Wait. Which is the
Pinot-
Pinot Noir? I'm already- I have
The Pinot Noir.
the Indigo
Yeah.
Pinot Noir.
another red.
So we've covered lechon, porchetta. So if you want to bring in roast beef, it's gonna be your Bordeaux. It's gonna be the Cap de Fer, right?
Rose de Fer will be-
If I want to give like a cold cuts platter, something like what you guys give out in Winedrop,
cold butter will. That's something that you're gonna enjoy at the aperitif. So stick with the Codorniu Classico Seco because
Yeah,
people
okay.
like to use their
Back to
finger,
the Cava.
drink a bit, bubbly,
Yeah.
a bit of acidity with this. It's a sequence of the evening. The cava will go well with the cold butter.
I think, JP, you cannot go wrong if you send a white with a red. You don't have to limit it to just one colored wine bottle. If you want your friends to, especially in Zoom parties, after all, you want to be there in the long run, don't
Yeah.
make it seem like the gathering is just all about appetizers, but really the full
No.
board.
As I tell you, it's no science behind this, and some people will prefer this wine with this food and vice versa. And at the end of the day, what you want is people having a good time, a wine easy to drink, that people will enjoy, a wine that is not gonna cut on the budget of the company if it's for
Yes.
Christmas.
Speaking of
Okay.
budget, with the wines that we have had the pleasure of tasting tonight, budget-wise, all this is like below 5,000.
All below 1,000 peso.
There you go. So it doesn't have to be again expensive for good wine that you just want to have a good holiday season with.
Good wine, and all the wine, for instance, you have on Winedrop, they're all good, and then after it all depends of your taste. But it should not be expensive wine. It's just a wine. It should not be so snob. It's wine. It's a bottle of wine you open with your friend and you enjoy. And of course, when you really start to know wine and when you want to go deeper and deeper, it's going to cost you a bit more because the bottle are a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of wine on Winedrop below 1,000 who are perfect to drink at home. That's actually what I drink every day at home because we drink a lot in this house.
We don't have to wait for Christmas Eve to enjoy the holidays. I think that's what the best part is.
Okay, so JP, can you please share with us where they can find you? You can talk to us about Winedrop, where I usually shop.
Here,
I usually shop every
it
week.
goes in a really nice box. Can we just say it
Yes.
comes with a really nice box? Check this out, you guys. Sorry. So there. So
Yes.
this is a
Right.
perfect box. Christmas
So
box.
in their website, you can actually buy also some ham, some other stuff beside wines.
Yes,
So
actually,
you can pair together. Go ahead.
we create a Winedrop with the same vinos of AWC. AWC Philippines is a company we import the wine and sell to hotel and restaurants. Winedrop is our platform to sell to private individual. And on this website, you can find more than 300 different kind of wine for all different kind of budgets, from old world to new world, from rosé, red, white, sparkling, and sweet. And we also add a lot of accessories like glasses from Shots Wiesel, beautiful glasses. We have corkscrew, we have wine fridge, a lot of different gift package also. And we organize a lot of food and wine pairing for different company also. So what we just done now, sometimes I'm a partnership with a chef, very often with a French chef called Cyril Soenen, and he will send you a little package with some food. I send the wine, everything all together, and we're just having easy symposium, easy conversation about wine and food, and we try to be serious the first 10 minutes, and then after we drink and we just do this as a conversation. So
that's
It is lovely.
even better.
Yes, and how you package it. It's really a way to celebrate. I think
Yes,
that's
we
something
want
we
to
all
celebrate.
need. Yeah, that's something we all could have this Christmas season. It's just been such a 2020 year. So do this
Yeah.
not even for parties. Do it for yourself. I think everyone deserves to have a Winedrop box or Christmas gift package.
That's right. Thank you so much, JP, for teaching us all about wines today.
And
It was a great pleasure to speak with you. Hope you enjoy.
you
Yes,
have
so-
to plan a Christmas menu. Actually.
I create, if you go on winedrop.life, a specific discount code for all of you. So until end of November, you will have a 20% discount. So you just have to put a WD Chic Chats 20. So that's for your 20% discount. And until end,
WD Chic Chats to
Yes.
get a 20% discount from Winedrop. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And that's not all. JP's also giving away something for the raffle.
exactly.
So
So
we're gonna have some viewers who get to win some. What are they gonna win, JP?
all the set we just had tonight. So
Wow! What a
Oh
treat!
my!
it's
Oh,
Winedrop.life.
Oh wow!
So let's make the question harder.
And I will deliver personally.
So let's make the question harder. So we're gonna ask something hard for that 5 wine box that we're gonna be raffling off. The question is, what are the the grape varieties that you can only grow in Bordeaux?
All five? That's a hard question, Jeanette.
It's a hard question. They have to just Google it.
You were not listening. I repeat it twice.
So there. So if you can find right on the comment section below the
3 out of
different
the
grape.
5. Let's make
Okay,
it
three.
three
Okay,
out of
three out of the 5 grape varieties that you can grow on Bordeaux, you get 5 wine bottles from Winedrop. And that's not all. Everybody that's watching, you only have to go to Winedrop, type in WD Chic Chats, and you get 20% discount on their website.
Chat 20.
WD. Okay, WD
WD
Chic Chats 20.
That's 20. That is your discount code. But if, again, one of you will win all 5 bottles that we opened and tested and tasted tonight. So, JP, you're so generous. Thank you very much.
I know. Thank you so much.
Here's my only tip for that raffle prize winner. There's no Pinot Noir. Okay? No Pinot Noir grown in Bordeaux. That much I'll help you with. Correct, JP?
Okay.
Thank you so much, girls.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Again, I'll keep this in the fridge because I'm all alone. So 1 week in the fridge. So I have 1 day a week per week.
1 day a week.
To finish a bottle.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, JP. Thank you so much for joining us. So now, we're gonna learn. We're gonna do it. Summarize what we have learned. Of course, I've drank so much wine already.
That, Jeanette, how can we summarize that?
The first life and bullet point tips is drink what you like. There is no rules. No one can impose on you what kind of wine you like. The second tip is you have to keep it in a place where you can maintain the temperature.
Yeah.
So it has to be 18.
Yes. Yeah. Even if it's just a constant, again,
20.
cool place.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be a cool, dark
Do
place.
not expose it to light. Don't expose your wines to sunlight, especially. That was a good warning from JP.
That's right. And then the third one, I think that's very important, although we didn't get to talk about it, is that you need to find a good glass. For me, it makes such a big difference to have the right glass. And the fourth one is try it, read all about how you can pair the wine. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. If you want to drink white with steak, go ahead. It's your choice. So that's it for me, Issa. Such a fun episode.
Well, again, I actually was like hesitating. I have to open all of this, but he gave me a good tip. At the end of the day, put the cork back on, even if you're alone. Put it just in the ref and consume it within a week. Walang masasayang.
Right.
It's Christmas season nowadays, right? And again, drink to celebrate.
Moderately. One glass of wine is good for you every day. Red wine. I practice that.
Here's a little holiday cheer, everybody. We're not saying go all out, get yourself drunk. It's not that. It's really just savoring the holiday season because it's been a tough year. So if this is one way for you to celebrate, even just by yourself, to unwind, I think this is not bad. So I love how JP himself got Jeanette and I in a very holiday cheery spirit. At the end of the day, that's what we want. Please be safe and do not drink and drive. Okay?
That's right. So don't forget, you get a discount. We will flash the details of the coupon later on. WD Chic Chats 20. Guys, don't forget to follow our Facebook page as well, Chic Driven, and on Instagram, follow us, please. Chic Chats is on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. This has been Jeanette Ipapo-Tuason.
And I'm Issa Litton. We just gave you #your best life in bullet points.
Bye. Cheers. Woohoo!